What up, peeps? It's your girl, Watch Come Back from No Takes. Well, it's that time we got this reaction time, and this is just Secret Invasion. This will be for episode 5, titled Harvest. Now, the last episode titled Beloved was really good. A lot going on. Just all I can still think of is the part with Talos at the end. So sad that he got stabbed by Gravik, and the fact that, you know, Fury had to make a decision at the moment, get the president out of there. You know, even though he was trying to come back for him, and then, you know, wondering what was going on, come to find out the reveal when you see him shooting, you know, one of the guys, you know, fighting. Oh God, just because I just, you know, like I stated before, I love their banter, I love their friendship. You know, he's an ally and all that, and you could tell he wrestled with leaving in the car to get away with the president. Also, the situation with Gaia, you know, utilizing the situation with Gravik's, you know, overall agenda purpose of those doctors, you know, set up something to make, you know, super scrolls, and knowing that she worked. That's what I call having, you know, a plan B if things, you know, pop off. And like I stated, her making a comment talking about, you know, the guy who got, you know, captured and tortured, you know, he might have said this, and she talking about she's a better liar. I figure eventually he's going to be watching or whatever now and set up some sort of trap to see somebody get caught and find out who's the traitor. And, you know, you could tell it hurt him when he realized it was her, but in the end it was just like it was unnecessary, you know, for her to do. And then she sees what kind of person she's dealing with. And remember now, Talos did tell her, you know, what happened to her mother, asked, you know, Gravik about that. So I'm really wanting to know a little bit about that as well. I wish we could see how his wife, her mother, got killed. Needless to say, situation, you know, with Fury's wife, you know, knowing she was talking to Rhodey, you know, but needless to, yeah, like, sweetie, I know you're trying to do this for the benefit of your husband, all, but in the end, not being truthful, you know, meeting, you know, places, and then being given, you know, marching orders. You know, she tried to go through it, but I like how in the end he somewhat spared her in that instance and all that. And, you know, it's just what it is. Now she has to watch herself, because when he did show up and they told him, yeah, Fury's here, you started looking on his face because he's thinking she should have been dealt with. It wasn't gonna be that easy. I mean, come on now. You know, top billing on the show, and that wasn't going to happen like that. You know, we getting all these other people being killed, but that sure as hell ain't going to have no Fury. You know, so, but other than that, I mean, the episode was good. I'm curious to see how things are going to turn out once Guy finds out about what happened to her dad, and how Gravik's going to feel, you know, in regards to, of course, Fury still being alive, what he did to Talos, you know, not realizing the situation with Gaia, when eventually she probably ends up revealing herself to him, knowing she's still alive. Just so much going on. We only have a couple more episodes, so with that said, let's go and jump into it. Say the rest of my thoughts at the you guys.
You do not trust Colonel Rhodes.
The sauce is dropping. Let's go.
Sir, do you have clearance? Then stay outside.
You should be proud, G. Talos is finally...
What? Dead? Our target was the president, and he's still alive.
You ordered Fury's death when you knew Varro would never do it. You told me Fury hid the Avengers' DNA, but it wasn't in any of the locations you provided. Fury never trusted you, and it makes me start to wonder, why should we...
Change your plans. Keep Ritson alive. Make sure he knows it wasn't just the Russians who did this. It was the Russians with the help of Skrulls.
And if we don't get what we want?
Well, then we all do what we've prepared for. Sacrifice.
The country appreciates your service to the president tonight, but I'm here now. You can go.
You must be out of your Skrull-ass mind.
In about 60 seconds, the footage of you killing Maria Hill is gonna lead off every news program all across the hemisphere. So tick-tock, Nick.
I know that's right. Like, shut up.
This just in. Former S.H.I.E.L.D. Director Nicholas Fury is being sought for the murder of former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Maria Hill.
What are you doing?
Politely asking the location of Dr. Rosa Dalton.
Have you lost your mind, woman?
Just showing Director Weatherby's true colours. Have a look at that.
Oh!
He's out of surgery. Don't worry. I'll handle it.
Oh! Oh, wow! Damn.
Nothing but a monster. Talos died.
You can stop there. He died. Lose.
Talos chose the path of struggle. He did not lose. What DNA did Gravik steal?
Colobsidian fluorocolossus. But he took those because he couldn't find what he was looking for.
What was he looking for?
Something he called the harvest.
Oh, shit. I'll be in touch.
Where are you going?
Finland.
Who are you? I think a more apt question would be, who would you like me to be? I'm staggeringly versatile. Ooh, there he is. Would you like to take a seat? Now start from the very beginning, and don't miss out a damn decimal point.
I won't let her betray Gravik.
If they're not busy gaslighting you, they're threatening you with murder. That's what all the podcasts are about.
You're the one he sent to kill me? I'm Gaia.
What you see on the screen is the Skrull compound. We have to neutralize this facility. England is 100% behind us, and as soon as the rest of NATO sees this proof, they're going to be on board too. Believe me. I would rather us face a war than extinction, and that's exactly what a Skrull invasion will mean.
I got a deal for you. Got anything to do with the harvest? Bring it to me in person. I'll call the whole thing off.
Voila. Figured you might need that on the other side.
Try and get enough. You seem a little grumpy.
Dallas wasn't much for pageantry. Do you have the offering?
It was my mother's.
Truly, the Skrulls.
Uniokal, Maniachak, Najak, Niju.
Loved it ever since I first set foot in it on a viewing 15 years ago.
With Fury.
With Fury in mind. I'd rather meet the bastards standing right here in my happiness than to meet them running down some dark alley.
Never mind.
This what we're doing?
Yes, this is absolutely what we're doing. Seatbelt, please.
Be careful, guy.
Why do you think Rhodey is in charge of this?
He asked for corroboration on the new Skrullos site.
And you gave it to him?
Yes, Fury. Why in God's name would Gravik want to blow off his own people?
Leverage. If I don't give Gravik the harvest, then Rhodey is going to incinerate the Skrull compound. Every Avenger spilled blood in the Battle of Earth. Even Carol Danvers. In the aftermath, some were sent in to collect that DNA.
So you are responsible for all this?
Yeah. Why do you think I came back? This is personal. You can't keep depending on these superheroes to swoop in and save our asses.
Don't you have another one of these?
Oh, I got these all over the place. You know, dead men need options.
Why Finland?
We're still in our honeymoon year. Scrolls like the cold.
You knew how dangerous this vial was, so swapped its location to protect it from Gravik, and now you're going to give it to him.
Exactly. It's time. Let's finish this.
All right, you guys, I enjoyed this episode. When I made a statement about Gravik, I feel like his overall purpose, agenda, whatever you want to name it, is a little bit bigger than the Skrulls. I really believe that to be the case, especially with the way things came about in this actual episode. One of his people, when they're dealing, with trying to get the president, things kind of get thwarted, and he's able to be taken away by Fury. Mind you, again, like I said, Priscilla was not killed. Certain things happened. Rhodey, of course, seeing her setting things in motion, all that. Like, I'm gonna do my part, and telling her like as if she had any say in whatever her orders were, marching orders. Hence, what Rhodey told her in regards to Gravik. Now, mind you, when they get back, and the guy's like, you should be, probably like, about what? Like, the main goal was the president, not Talos. Mind you, that's, a nice casualty, that he's kind of, happy about being there. Of course, the general, the person that people definitely looked up to. But then he's just like, what's really going on? It's like, all the places you told us that this harvest was at, whatever, was not there. Nick doesn't trust you, this and that and another. And then when he uses his new Skrull powers, he kills him. And he's like, the reason this happens is because such and such didn't do this. It's like, no, what he said is true. That's why one of the young guy who was brought in under Gaia kind of looked at him kind of hesitant. He's not understanding some of the things that are going on. Certain things are just not adding up. And of course, some people, only see what they want to see, and they're going to definitely fall in allegiance with Gravik. Now, mind you, wasn't expecting what we saw, where him and some other people decided to kind of, catch him off guard and try to get him down. But you see how that did not turn out well. And he's just like, calling him a monster, this is this. And he's like, like, pretty much like, how dare you? This is like, how dare you what? You truly are not to be trusted. Those people have no idea what's coming and what you're about to do to them as a casualty to get to his bigger purpose. You see how the phone call, when Rose shows up at the actual hospital to check in, with the president. Mind you, before he does that, you see, of course, Fury setting up, trying to whisper to him, like, no, don't trust him. But, he's kind of out of it. He's not going to remember that. But I like how he had his little choice words, like, oh, I'm going to sit, I already, released the video, this, whatever, and all that. Like, no, like, I didn't listen to your Skrull, like, I'm like, yeah, tell him you already know. Like, fool, like, really? He know you are not him. There's no way he would act like that. And I like how he, gun whipped him for a minute across, saying, like, shut up. Like, please. Now, mind you, you see Gravik gave him his marching orders. And I'm talking about Rose, like, you know what will happen if you don't complete your part, meaning now we're going to set up where I'm going to let the president know about the location of some Skrulls and humans or whatever, like, meaning some of the people who are in the back, who are chained up, locked up, whose overall appearance are being utilized to infiltrate certain things. Like I said, the Prime Minister, NATO, all these people are there. So when they say humans, it's like, I'm thinking them. They could, who knows, could be some humans besides the Skrulls who are working with them, if they just want to. I could be wrong, but just throwing that out there. Needless to say, being that, they don't want to start a war, like I say, World War III, this and all this, we need to cut this, head off, early. And he's trying to kind of bait him enough where he's considering it. All the while, this kind of flushed out. Mind you, Gravik eventually does reach out to Fury, like, you need to bring the harvest and this and another. Because I like the part when you see where it showcases the whole point of the information be real. Like at the beginning, you know that Gravik and Fury at one time did work together and doing certain things and all setting certain things up in the principle of having certain, I want to say, God, what word I want to use? I'm getting tongue tied, in regards to the harvest, knowing pretty much where it was and all that, certain terms, things of that nature. But clearly, Fury didn't trust him enough. And you see when the guy said it, he said he didn't trust him, that he moved it. He had different locations of where he put, made Barbara probably think, and they couldn't find it. That's why he had the other three and he didn't have this one. Now, I don't know exactly what this particular CERN will entail for him, but he's like, if you bring this to me, otherwise, we're going to set what I have in motion as a plan B, and you'll be the cause of this. Hence how the things happen with the first instruction we got in the first episode, and then losing, Hill. Now, I will say, I like the meeting between Fury and Gaia. She's not happy, like, he, her father, is that he is doing this. He's like, no, my father's just dead. But it's just like, I didn't like their last conversation, her calling him delusional. He says not all, because he wanted to see the greater good and things that can be done. The humans understood who we are and what kind of people we are, scroll wise, whatever, and all that. We're not bad people. Because I'm gonna be honest, like this, there's always some bad people on all sides. Let's just be real, and that's just kind of what it was. Hence, Gravis, for example, humans definitely that definitely plays a part in that instance as well. Now, I like how he was like, there's a person you can go to who will help you bury your father, and it ended up being Priscilla. Now, I will say this, them having a conversation, then eventually, setting up where she has an offering, and then, Priscilla reads the prayer, so he's laid to rest properly. I hate, like she said, that she, left it on bad terms with her father and all, but in the end, I think he knows deep down that she loved him. And vice versa, so that part is hers. I said, because you never, even if you're dealing with individuals, however, you really try to be mindful of what you say, because you never want that to be your last and final words to a person, all that, however, but, sometimes, in this instance, this is kind of what is left. So I like how also Priscilla's like, I'm not going to leave my home if this is where they're going to come and meet, because of course Gravis like, you need to go and tend to dealing with Priscilla. She didn't follow through with her orders and all that, just like the arrogance of him. That's why I'm just like, please, you're turning your people in a blind head, and they're turning on you because whatever you're doing. Like the woman who left that little meeting, she's like, he's lost his way. He's not the same. He's changed. Of course not. As he got older, I can imagine the ego and everything that goes along with it, knowing that you can do this and do that, whatever, and how much more can I really do if I have this, that, and other at my, whim, and, the people lined up behind me who believe what I say. He could say anything else about them. They probably fall right along with him, literally smoke screen, living in a bubble. Now, I will say, I love the fight sequence between Gaia and Priscilla against his little henchman coming in there to kind of round her up to kill her. Love that. I'm just really waiting to see Gaia show what else she can do, because we know she took the stuff and she got in that little portal. Now, I don't know if we're going to see that maybe in the last episode. It might be revealed if she showed up, to help Fury, but I will say this, that would be interesting. I'm here for it because I just want to see the look on Gravis' face and know, oh no, honey, you're not the only one that had the powers. Now, I will say, I love that. So, is it Sonya? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Picking up, Fury, being able to get through to go where he needs to go to meet with her so they can get that harvest, and then having that conversation about why don't you call your friends? He's like, no, and he said in the trailer, this is personal. He was like, it's not always going to be the need for us to call them. He's like, I'm going to handle this, there's certain things that they don't know that I know and I've experienced and all that. I'm the best equipped to handle this situation. Like how Gravis like, oh, you think, you got one up on me. A little bit he does. And that's part of why. And I think to the end, he definitely needed a harvest. He wasn't going to kill Fury, and that's why. That's why the guy's like, you could have had plenty, another opportunity to kill him. He's like, no. And I understand that part. He's like, right, I need the location. Clearly, Gravik would have, he knew exactly that same location for wherever the harvest was being, stored. He would have killed him. But clearly, he did, and he knows that Fury moved it like, no, we wanted to utilize you, and we want to bring you on. You're considered an ally, but and I still don't trust you, and I'm glad he didn't. Hence what we're dealing with now. But I will say, saying that to her, and then her saying, why feeling, this being the honeymoon for Priscilla and all that, and also the scrolls like the cold. And I was like, oh, okay, definitely didn't know that part. And just look on her face and all, and like now she knows, because, I just, and don't even get me started with her showing up where those doctors at. and then information needing to be known about how they came up with this and all that. I'm like, yeah, and then her husband turned on her and she's shooting him like, yeah, as long as we got you, we have the information we need and all that, now they can do it. And I love how Sonya's just like on it. Like, very casual, very calm, cool, collected about it. Like, she's always going to be the one that, ends up on top, getting whatever she needs, bringing things to be, revealed, like she did with the guy at the company, shooting him in his leg just enough where it'll injure him and they can see what he truly is. Like, yeah, y'all been infiltrated truly by some scrolls, so it's finally coming out. But yeah, great episode. Love this episode. Oh my gosh, I'm really looking for the showdown between Fury and Gravik. I'm so sick of his freaking arrogance. I'm glad those people at that location did what they did to just show that now everybody is following your lead. You're truly he's not to be trusted. And like I said, the fact that you're about to possibly kill them and they have no idea. That one young lady who was staying beside a guy who was putting him in his place a little bit about him, like, or Rita like really trust you and all that before he killed him. Yeah, girl, if only you knew. Your boy, he don't got your back either. But that's just the price it's going to have to pay if it turns out. But I'm hoping. So like I said, I look forward to seeing the showdown. I really love somebody to show up to help Nick, even though he really wants to take care of himself. I'd like to see Carol Danvers. That would be real nice, but that's wishful thinking. So yeah, just ready to see how this is going to turn out. I really hope Priscilla does end up living and they're not able to get to her. But I like the part where Guy was able to get out and she's like, take care of herself and all. And I'm glad, I will say this last part with her putting Guy in her place, checking her when she made that little statement about her being in her true form when she's with, those times she spent with Nick Fury. That's like, I agree, that's none of your business. Like, I didn't mean that. You did mean that. Always individuals who say stuff out their mouth, like, oh, I didn't know you meant that, otherwise you wouldn't have said it. And she, let her, you said it, it's just what it is. But the fact remains is that there's a lot of things about, I think, being on Earth and dealing with the humans and all that is probably rubbed her the wrong way and all that. So this is her definitely voicing her frustrations with a lot of stuff because, like they said, they never got the plan they were supposed to have and all that, and being there for so long and things like that. I could understand that purposely, but it's like to say something like that, knowing how much Priscilla's been there since she probably knew her and her mom and her dad. So it's just like, where is this coming from? But just a lot of frustration all around and all that, and probably definitely some anger with what happened to her father, never wanting that to happen, even though she was frustrated with him as well, and the whole situation with him being their leader as a general and things happening the way they happened. But again, I can't say it enough. Truly enjoyed this episode. So with that said, you guys comment below. I really would like to know you guys' thoughts in this actual episode. And with that said, I will see you guys in the next reaction. You guys take care.